This video is about the box model, and the box model is what you see in front of you here. Um, and it's a little hard to really wrap your head around it just based on the picture. So let's just code through it, and we'll kind of build it up one by one. But the general idea is that everything on a web page is a box. Um, Words are a box, and even a circle is a box. It's just a box with the corners cut off and rounded. Images are in a box. Literally everything is in a box. And that has certain implications when we start designing a web page. So let's kind of start exploring what they are. I've got an HTML document here, and on this side here, I've got a CSS document, and whatever I type in here will come up in the live preview on the far right here in my browser window. So let's just start by creating a new div, and we'll give it a class name of box. And because I'm using Emmet, I can just type in .box1 and hit tab. Okay, so now we've created this new div called box1, and inside I'll just write, I am box1. Comes up for us. Great. Let's create another one. Let's create box2. Okay. Inside I'll write, I am box2. Okay, great. Just looks like words, right? Doesn't look like there's a box there. But let's select those boxes. First I'll select box1, right? And I'll give it a color. We'll say background color, red. Now it looks like, okay, there is a box behind it, right? The box is a little bit higher than the letters and runs to the end. It will always fill the whole line by default. That's just how the box works by default. Cool, so now let's say box2, and we'll give it a background color of, what do we feel like today? Coral, of coral. So let's start, making changes to the properties of these boxes, right? Let's start with padding. We'll see what happens when I type in padding 10px. Ooh, there we go. 10px, a little bit more so you can see it, 20. Now if you look, you can see that if I make this gray, it doesn't help, I'll leave it red. So you can see that the words have been pushed in to the box 20 pixels, but also the box grew 20 pixels. We can add a border. We'll say 40px, solid, green border. So we have a 40 pixel border, and it's solid and it's green. Well, this is solid. We could change it to dashed if you want, but it's just a little confusing, so I'll leave it solid. So we've got this border, and you can see it builds out from the edge of the box, right? But the padding pushed the content in, right? Let me remove the padding. Looks like that. Now when I add the padding, it's going on the inside of the box. What do we make it? 20 pixels, right? So padding, you can almost think of padding as a border on the inside of the box between the content and the edge of the box. And right now the edge of the box is where the green meets the red. And then the last thing we can add is margin. So if I had margin of, let's say, 20 pixels, what margin does is it spaces the edge of the box away from everything around it. So what's around it? In this case, box 2 is around it, the top of the browser window is around it, and the sides of the browser window are around it. So let's increase that to like 50, and you can see what happens there. So that's the basics of the box model. Really, it's just this idea that everything is a box, and you're controlling where things fit inside the box, right? Padding controls how things fit inside the box. And then border draws a line around the box, and then margin controls the space between the box and everything else around it. And this is going to have pretty big implications later on for the overall way we lay things out in HTML and CSS. All right, so hopefully that simplifies a little. There is a code pen down below, so if you want to check that out, you can experiment with this on your own. Okay.